오늘 남편 생일인데 제 아이패드가 고장이 나가지고 어제 저녁에 그 새 아이패드를 남편이 사줬거든요. 그래가지고 이번 생일은 좀 더 웅용웅용 해주려고. 그래서 오늘 골은 남편은 침대에다가 그냥 두고 쉬고 싶은 만큼 다 쉬라고 하고 내가 맛있는 거 다 해주기입니다. 저희 남편이 키쉬를 진짜 좋아하는데 제가 파이지 만들 시간은 아침부터 넣고 에그 프리타타를 해주려고 해요. 그래서 오늘 아침은 프리타타로 먼저 갑니다. 여보, 밥 먹자. I didn't make cash. I was going to make cash, but I couldn't make pie crust.
It's the next best thing.
Oh, don't tell me.
Not cooked enough.
Dang it.
Here, let me get the door. In the meantime, let's have some bread and jam. Wow.
드세요. Success, not too salty. Happy birthday.
Thank you, honey.
저희 남편은 한 10월 날씨가 이제 변할 때쯤 되면 이제 목 감기가 거의 자주 걸리더라고요. 그래가지고 목 감기 걸릴 때쯤마다 만드는 생강청 있거든요. 그래서 생강청 만들 거예요.
우와 대박.
여보, Happy birthday.
고마워요.
Get your cup, please. Oh, happy birthday song. You normally do this like happy birthday song for dinner, right?
You do it whenever there's a birthday cake, honey.
Okay. Wow. Oh, I'm not that smart, eh?
It's okay, you're pretty. Let me help.
No! Can birthday person do that?
Apparently.
Happy birthday to you. 사랑하는 my husband. Happy birthday to you.
You're too much. Yay!
Oh,
Big cake. Wow. Cross section for the camera. Look at that. Wow. 받습니다.
맛있게 드세요.
That's just delicious.
Mm.
Choose real vanilla. See the little speckles.
I like that this is not too sweet. Does it taste like real Boston cake?
That is as authentic as it gets. I really like the custard.
Yeah. Mama.
Oh my goodness. God, it smells so good.
생일 축하합니다.
God, it smells so
Mac and cheese, 믹스드베리 salad, barbecue rib.
good. Wow. Amazing.
Cheers.
Elbow. 어머.
It became too runny. I didn't want to have it too dry, so I made it like extra roux, but it became too runny.
I mean, this is like perfect consistency.
I hope so. 네.
So you made the dressing. Is that what I heard the immersion blender
Yeah.
go in?
I used the mixed berry. Let's taste it.
Little vinegary. What kind of vinegar?
Balsamic.
The balsamic with the mixed berry. That's good.
Not bad.
No. It's really nice. Bye-bye. I'm gonna have more of this, but I can't wait any longer. It smells so good. I'm gonna try the mac and cheese. Oh my god.
Is it good?
It's so good.
진짜?
Like really creamy. 조금 salty.
조금 salty? Sorry.
조금 what's salt?
조금 짜.
짜. Oh, yeah, that's right. 짜.
조금 짜.
But so creamy. Oh.
Does it pull apart?
Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
오! pull apart.
That's what I said.
오, 대박이다.
That is tender.
와.
Wow. No, with ribs this tender, you don't use knife and fork. You just pick them up and eat them. Look at this. Watch. Look. Just.
Green bean is nicely cooked. Shout out to Heinz barbecue sauce.
So incredibly tender and juicy. That's the problem. Sometimes ribs can be really dry, but they're just so juicy. Wow. And you cook these in the oven, right?
For 4 hours.
That is
맛있다.
incredible. Yeah. There's a barbecue sauce. I can't remember what the brand is, but it's like something like bone sucking sauce. And that's literally, it's like, wow. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad.
Double. Come on. This is like exactly what I needed for my
Good.
birthday. This is better than any restaurant we could have gone
Really?
to. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If there were ever a meal that you wanted to try out of hers, this would be the one.
Using Heinz.
It doesn't matter. It's all about how you cooked it. Choose whatever barbecue sauce you want. Make whatever barbecue sauce you want. But it's so tender. It just falls off the bone. 고맙습니다. 잘 먹겠습니다.
엄마, 나 지금 그 생생송 만들고 있어. 오빠는 지금 우리 VPN이 안 돼가지고 방화벽 때문에 방화벽이랑 씨름하고 있네. 아까 밥 먹고 있을 때 전화했는데 엄마 맛있는 거 드셨나 해가지고. 아이고 감사하네. 아 진짜? 아유 그렇구나. 엄마 내가 저번에 말했잖아. 나는 아이를 낳고 싶은 이유가 그래서 엄마 그 얘기하다가 엄마 우리 진짜 오고 싶었잖아. 근데 그게 진짜 진심이거든. 나는 그 흡수자라는 그게 있잖아. 누군가가 했던 말이 엄청 공감이 많이 되고 되게 감동이 컸거든. 그 얘기를 딱 듣는 순간 진짜 나는 그 생각을 했어. 엄마 아빠라는 그 퇴비를 완전히 진짜 불태워가지고 그게 엄청난 좋은 영양분이 됐어. 근데 나는 또 자신감이 약간 없어서 그런지 나는 내가 꽃은 아니라고 생각하거든. 근데 내가 엄청 좋은 줄기라고 생각해. 그래서 나는 이제 이 줄기가 서양종을 만나가지고 배합이 잘 돼서 여기서 나는 꽃이 얼마나 예쁠까 하는 그런 생각이 드는 건 거지. 그래서 오빠랑 나랑 피운 꽃을 엄마한테 보여주고 싶고 그런데 잘 안 돼가지고 수강한 거지. 근데 아무튼 간에 아빠 고생 진짜 많이 하셨지.